Yeah, my name is Ambassador Dr. Simeon Kelvin. I'm glad to be here today to share with us. I'm grateful to my brother, Pastor Robert Simon. Thank you so much for giving me this privilege to share with God's people. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much, and may the Lord continue to empower you and grant you more wisdom. Yeah, viewers, thank you for joining today's class. Thank you for joining this meeting. It's awesome, right? We are going to be sharing a whole lot. I don't know about the time that we have, but I believe that there's still going to be another session where we are going to talk about the economy, okay, the Nigerian economy, talk about the policies, talk about the inflations, talk about how these things impact our lives as individuals and as our corporate existence. And we're also going to look at how, as believers, we can navigate through this hard time. Because the truth of the matter is that the economy is not smiling at anybody. Okay? So I'm really going to focus on talking about how, as believers, we can navigate this period, beginning from this point, even as we prepare ourselves to step into 2024. We can actually live our lives as believers, different from the experiences of other people within the same economy. Yeah, because I have realized from the scriptures that every time there is scarcity, it is a pointer to abundance. And every time there is abundance, it is a pointer to scarcity. We only have two seasons: abundance, scarcity, abundance, scarcity. So in the days of Joseph, you saw what happened. Okay, the dream that Pharaoh had, that Joseph interpreted, it was simply two seasons. There was going to be abundance, and the scarcity that was to come after the abundance would swallow the abundance and make it look as if it never happened. And that's exactly what we are having now. So if you are designing enough and you understand seasons, you are going to prepare yourself that anytime you see abundance, it's time to prepare for scarcity. And anytime you see scarcity, it's time to prepare for abundance. So the truth of the matter is that there is abundance coming, right? This season of scarcity will not last forever. It doesn't matter the economy, it doesn't matter policies, it doesn't matter the inflations. The truth of the matter is that we operate from a different economy, and that is God's economy. And I'm going to show you from scriptures how these things work. Okay, God's economy is superior to the economies of this world. Nations of the world, they are breaking down economically, breaking down right now, and is affecting businesses globally. But the truth is, as God's people, we operate outside of such economy. Our economy is God, right? So I want to read 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 7. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 7. It says, a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophet cried out to Elisha, saying, your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant feared the Lord. Okay? And the creditor is coming to take my two sons to be his slaves. So Elisha said to her, what shall I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in the house? And she said, your maidservant has nothing in the house but a jar of oil. Then he said, go borrow vessels from everywhere, from all your neighbors, empty vessels. Do not gather just a few. And when you have come in, you shall shut the door behind you and your sons. Then pour it into all those vessels and set aside the full ones. So she went from him and shut the door behind her and her sons, who brought the vessels to her, and she poured it out. Now it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said to her son, bring me another vessel. And he said to her, there is not another vessel. So the oil ceased. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, Go sell the oil and pay your debt, and you and your sons live on the rest. All right. So the first thing I want you to understand is that you can fear God and not be rich. You can actually fear God and not be rich. A lot of people in our generation believe that once you are going to church and you are born again and you fear God, then everything should turn out well for you. Everything should start working well for you. But there are principles. If you do not understand these principles and you don't operate by them, do not expect magic. We see a lot of people who are God-fearing, and they are even prayer warriors, but they die broke, just like this guy. Okay, he was one of the sons of the prophets. He was in the school of the prophets, but he died poor. He worked with Elisha. Elisha was the head of this school of the prophet, but he died poor. Why did he die poor? You see, if you look at the scriptures, you understand the story of Lazarus and the rich man. Lazarus was a holy man. He feared God, but he was very poor to the point that he struggled with dogs that come to feed from the crumbs that fall from this rich man's table. The rich man didn't fear God, but he was rich. So being rich has nothing to do with fearing God, although it has a lot to do with the principles. It has a lot to do with integrity. It has a lot to do that God's presence and everything makes the difference. But the truth is, you can fear God and not be rich. Okay? God doesn't plan poverty for anyone. In fact, he delights in the prosperity of his servants. God delights in the prosperity of his servant. But we must be able to apply the principles to be able to combat it for our favor. You say, you are the only one who can place a limit to the degree that you can manifest, or God can manifest himself in your life, in your economy. You're the only one that can place that limit. Okay? The measure of your knowledge defines the strength of your belief. And your belief determines what you can access in God. The measure of your knowledge determines the quality of your belief. And it is your belief that determines what you can access in God. So knowledge is power. And when we talk about knowledge now, we are talking about the knowledge of God. The knowledge of God. And the knowledge of what you are doing. Because you can't be praying in tongues, but if you don't have the adequate knowledge in your field of endeavor, you will still be poor. So, if you believe that poverty is what defines piousness, there is no way you will succeed in life, because life works in connection with your belief system. Nothing just happens, and nothing will ever work for you outside of your belief. So belief is so strong, and belief does not stand alone. It works in connection with knowledge. So for you to say, I believe in this, it means that you have knowledge in that thing. All right? So, number two thing I want you to see from this story is that if you borrow to meet your need, you mortgage your future for today. If you borrow to meet your needs, you mortgage your future for today. This man resorted to the life of borrowing. So as you prepare for a better economy, as you prepare to step into 2024, you must decide that you are not going to borrow to solve your needs. Because when you borrow to solve your needs, what you're doing is that you're mortgaging your future. What you're doing is that you're spending your future today. Okay? So to borrow to solve your needs is to borrow from the future to settle the present. When you do that, you will arrive in the future struggling to settle the past. Okay? So it is borrowing to satisfy today. And if you do that, tomorrow will haunt you. Today will haunt you into your tomorrow, and it will hurt you deeply. Now, if you borrow from your future to settle your present, when you arrive in the future, you'll be struggling to balance the past. And a lot of people live their lives this way. When you borrow from tomorrow to satisfy today, today will haunt you into tomorrow to hurt you. So you can either borrow, if need be, to accelerate the process of wealth creation, to accelerate the process of success, but it is not to borrow to satisfy your immediate need. Borrowing to pay house rent, borrowing to buy clothes, borrowing to buy a car, borrowing to, these are these are needs, immediate needs. They look nice, right? They look okay, they look justifiable. But what you are doing is that you're borrowing from your tomorrow to spend in your present. It is all right if you borrow for investment, for business, with the expectation of growth, but to spend it is not wise at all. Okay? Borrowing reduces you to the status of a servant, and that's what the Bible says. So to live within your means makes you the master of your own destiny. It makes you the master of your economy. Never you borrow to satisfy your immediate needs. Okay? Borrowing makes you the future the slave of the present. When you borrow, what it does is that it makes the future the slave of the present. Okay? Instead of making today the slave of tomorrow. I want you to understand that you live your life to make your present the slave of your future. Do not make your future the slave of your present. So borrowing, instead of enhancing, hampers the journey to economic freedom. That's what it does. So number 3 is how you respond to life's questions determines your outcome in life. How you respond to life's questions determines your outcome in life. Now, when this woman cried out to Elisha and said, your servant is dead, my husband, and you know how my husband feared the Lord, and now the creditors are coming to take my 2 sons. Now, look at Elisha asked the woman 2 questions. Number 1 is, what do you want me to do for you? Number 2 question is, what do you have in your house? Now, I want you to understand this, because you have needs, right? You have need, and you met somebody you believe has the capacity to solve that need. And the person asks you, what do you want me to do for you? What do you have in your house? Which one will you respond to first? Majority of the people, in fact, 95% of the world population will answer the second question or the first question, what do you want me to do for you? And ignore what do you have in your house. But look at the way this woman responded to these questions. She ignored the first question, which directed her attention to the man of God, and responded to the second question that directed her attention to herself. The first question is, what do you want me to do for you? So that one directed to the man of God. But the second question was directed to her. What do you have in your house? Many people will focus on the first question because a lot of us believe that what is going to make us comfortable in life is external factor. Many people think that their help is external, that their economic well-being is external. So they are looking at who to blame, what to blame, why they are where they are, why they are not progressing, why they are not prospering. They are looking at what to blame. They never look at themselves as the culprit to blame. Okay, they are looking at the government to blame. For instance, as we are in now, a lot of people are channeling their anger and their blame to the government because of the policies that the governments are churning out, affecting the economy badly. You look at the fuel price hike. You look at the dollar hike. You look at the way the naira is dwindling. You look at how price of commodities in the market keep on rising every day. So a lot of people will begin to blame the government and blame whatever it is. But they will never blame themselves. They will never look at themselves. They will never direct attention to themselves. The truth of the matter is 5% of the world population that control the 95% of the world's wealth always look at themselves, always direct this question to themselves. What do you have in your house? Okay? What will make you rich is not external. It is within. It is internal. God is too wise to have kept what will make you comfortable in life outside of you. God is too wise to put what will make you rich inside another person's hand. All right? No. What he does is he puts it inside of you. No matter the economy you find yourself, no matter the situation you find yourself, no matter the circumstance you find yourself, God has already packaged within you what you need, what you require to be successful in life. That's why if you want to be successful, you need to look inward. So answer the question, what do you have? What do you have to start with? What do you have right now to engage your 2024 with? So begin to look inward, right? Because your response to life is what determines what life will hand to you. What you focus on is what will magnify. What you ignore will diminish. This woman have always had the pot of oil, the jar of oil in her house. But it was too insignificant for her to pay attention to it. And because she ignored it, it diminished. She focused on scarcity, and scarcity magnified. But the moment she began to focus on what she had, guess what? It began to magnify. It began to grow. It began to increase. So every time you focus on what you have will begin to appreciate, will begin to increase. But if you focus on scarcity, what you're going to harvest is scarcity. If you focus on abundance, on prosperity, you're going to harvest much of that, okay? When you focus on what you have, it will grow. When you focus on what you don't have, you will shrink what you do have. All right? So number 4, because of our time, no one is completely disadvantaged and nobody is totally advantaged in life. All right? Nobody is completely disadvantaged or advantaged in life. Look at this woman. God does not leave anybody empty-handed in life. She thought that she was empty. She thought her life had come to a close. She thought her life had come to an end. But look at it. She had something. She had something. God does not allow anybody to be empty in this life. He doesn't, he doesn't create anybody and allow the person to be empty. Everybody must have one area of strength or one area of weakness. Okay? Although there might be an area that you are lacking, but there must be an area that will compensate for your lack, for your weakness. That's the way it is. So the woman recognized that although she had nothing, there was a little jar of oil left in her house. That recognition was the turning point in her life. Can I ask you a question? What do you have in your house? What do you have in your bank account? What do you have in your pocket? It doesn't matter the size, because this woman had just little. Okay? Just little. But the moment she focused on it, the miracle began to happen. Whatever God will give is already in what He has given. I want you to take note of this. Whatever God will give is already in what He has given. You are expecting the miraculous. You are expecting the abundance, you're expecting the life of prosperity, you're expecting success, no matter the amount it is that you're expecting, whatever God is going to give you is already in what he has given. In other words, the millions lie in that little change right now in your hands. The billions lie in that little money right now in your bank account or in your pocket. Because whatever God is going to give you is already in what he has given you. All right? To migrate from the position of scarcity to the position of prosperity, you must recognize what you have. You might treat what you have to be feeble, but in it lies the potential of your success. If you treat what you have to be feeble, to be nothing, you wouldn't know that you're playing with your potential success. So everyone came into this world with this inherent ability to create the life he or she wants. We all are here with the inherent ability to create the success that we want. But you must pay attention to yourself. What you do with it is what determines the outcome of your life. Number 5, God does not give harvest, he gives seed. As you prepare this year, to wrap up this year and to step into 2024, I want you to understand that God does not give harvest. You have been praying for harvest. You have been praying for prosperity, for abundance. God does not give harvest. What does he do? He gives seed. He gives seed. So look at what this woman said. He said, your maidservant have nothing in the house but a little jar of oil. She has always had this little jar of oil, but it was too tiny and insignificant for her to pay attention to or to recognize. So everything God gives is to make us successful. Everything God gives to make us successful does not come in a harvest form. It always comes in a seed form. It always comes little. All right? It is your recognition and working with this little that bets the abundance that you look for. So oftentimes, what God gives comes in a wrap that doesn't make sense. Okay? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't come in a big wrap that attracts attention. It comes in little forms. Okay? It comes in a seed form. It comes in a seed form. When we pray for harvest, God gives us seed. Inside the seed lies the harvest. Listen, inside that little money you have now lies the billions that you're looking for. Inside the money you have now, you're thinking you don't have enough. Inside it lies the millions that you're looking for. Okay? When you pay attention and begin to do something with it, you begin to see increase, abundance. Okay? Only the wise know how to separate what they have. Okay? And only the wise know how to see what they are looking for inside what they have. Okay? I want to urge you today to pay attention to yourself, and this is the way to conquer the economy. Because every time there is scarcity, there is always abundance, there is always opportunity. Do you realize that it was when there was scarcity in Egypt that Joseph and the house of Pharaoh prospered? If you position yourself very well in this economy, you will hit it big. A lot of people are cashing out big in this same economy. You just need the right knowledge, the right information, the right skill set, and then you're good to go. Okay? Now, number 6, harvest comes in measures we can manage. Harvest comes in measures we can manage. The problem of this woman, why she was poor, was not because of the smallness of the oil, but the limitlessness of the jar. The container was the problem. The content was not the problem. It was the container that was limiting the content. The oil was the content, the jar was the container. The oil was confined in a little container. that limited it. It restrained the potential of the oil. The oil has the capacity to increase, but it was constrained by the size of the jar, by the size of the container. So the woman was poor because her container was small. She was not poor because she lacked money. She was poor because her capacity was too small. Listen, if much is given to pour into this jar, it will waste away. So God gives us measures. He gives us harvest in measures that we can manage. If you have a container, all right, maybe a little bottle of water, and you are asking for the rain, when the rain falls, you can only retain as much in the little container that you have, and that's all. The rest is going to be wasted because you don't have enough capacity. So the problem is not with God. The problem is always with us. Our capacity is small. And God is saying, if you want to grow beyond the limitation of the earthly economy, then you need to grow your capacity. That's what happened to Joseph. Joseph grew his capacity to interpret dreams, and that's what brought him before the king. That's what moved him from the life of smallness and limitation in the prison to the palace, because he grew his capacity. When the opportunity called for it, he was ready for it. My friend, God does not give anyone what he cannot manage. Your ability to manage much places a limit to what you can get in life. All right? Your ability to manage places a limit to what you can receive or what you can have in life. If there is enough room to increase your capacity, you limit your potential. If there's not enough room to increase your capacity, you limit your potential. You limit your potential. So although externally everybody is in hot pursuit of money, everybody is looking for money, everybody wants more. But these people that are looking for money, do they really have the capacity so that when this much that they're looking for comes, it will not be wasted or break them down? I realize, friends, that poverty is easier to manage than prosperity. I realize that poverty, in fact, prosperity breaks people down much more than poverty. People are more comfortable with scarcity than they are with abundance. You see, for you to manage abundance, you must be able to increase your capacity. You must be able to grow your capacity. All right? So that leads me to number 7 as we begin to wrap up this discussion. Increase your capacity to increase your income. I want you to take note of this. Increase your capacity to increase your income. Now, look at what Elisha said to this woman. If you want to grow beyond this limitation, you need to increase your capacity. And what was it? He said, go borrow vessels. He said, your problem is not the limitation, is not the smallness of the oil. The problem is your container. You have little capacity, and that's why the oil is not growing. That's why your income is not growing. That's why your business is not growing. That's why your sources of income is not growing, because you have you have capacity that is small. Maybe this capacity can be referred to your mindset. It can be referred to your skill set. It can be referred to your education with knowledge or the level of information at your disposal. Okay, if you're limited in knowledge, then you lack capacity for growth. If you're limited in skills, you lack capacity for growth. If you're limited in information, if you're limited in when we talk about education, I'm not talking about going to school, because I often tell people that God made us rich, but we go to school to learn how to be poor. And that's the truth. That's why someone wrote a book and said, if you want to be rich, don't go to school. So increase your capacity. Elisha recognizes that the woman's problem was not the oil, it was her capacity. And so he said to her, go borrow vessels. Go and increase your capacity. Go and increase your container. So go borrow verses means increase your capacity, increase your knowledge, increase your skills. If you need to go learn some skills, go learn some skills. If you need to upgrade your knowledge level, go and upgrade it. If you need to take some extramural classes, go do it. If you need to go on apprentice with someone to learn some skills, go do it. Okay? Go do it. So you either learn by observation or by study. You can go and apprentice with somebody and learn, or you study to learn. So you either learn by observation or by study. So one of the greatest forms of limitation is ignorance. Knowledge is a limit breaker. The moment you know, you begin to break some barriers around you. So my friend, as you prepare to hit 2024, increase your knowledge level. Okay? What you know, you cannot own until you know. What you know makes you an owner. Okay? So learn from others, learn things that you have not known before to be able to increase your capacity. Go borrow verses, okay? Borrow verses. Number 8, it says, shut the door behind you. Shut the door behind you. In other words, shut the door behind, distractions. There are going to be a lot of distractions. Even as we step into the new year 2024, there will be a lot of distractions. Do not think that things will get better. I'm telling you, things may not get better. But once you get better, things around you will get better. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? Once you get better, things around you will get better. Once you are better, I'm telling you, your economy will become better. So shut the door against distractions. Shut the door against people who are going to begin to query your actions. Shut the door against everything that is anti-growth. Okay, to grow your resources to the point where you can begin to handle some social responsibilities, you need time. You need time. Okay, and this time requires that you be focused and avoid distractions. So shut the door to those who don't know what you are doing, and they're going to begin to try to tell you how to do it or what's best you should do. Number one thing is that they don't even know what you're doing. They don't know what you're working on. So how do you take advice from someone who has not done what you're doing or what you're about to do? Okay, shut the door to those who think that they know, but whose results do not commensurate with their claims. So you don't go looking for clothes from someone who is naked, right? So number 9, the flow of your income is determined by the limit of the vessels you fill. He said, do not borrow few. Do not borrow few. So you can actually make your products and serve more people. Someone said, if you want to be a billionaire, serve 1 billion people. If you want to be a billionaire, serve 1 billion people. In other words, produce whatever it is that you have to offer to the public, make it to reach more people. Have a way to advertise, to market your product, and make it reach more people. The more people that have your products or services, the more money you make. Okay? So he said to her, do not borrow a few. Do not borrow a few. Look for minds that needs to be filled and fill that mind. Look for pockets that are empty and fill that pocket. You can create anything, maybe and offer educational products, right? There are people who are ignorant that need that knowledge. Okay, you can write books, you can produce products, you can produce products and market those products and make it reach more hands, and there you go. All right, and then finally, when she came back to report to Elisha and said, "Hey, miracle has happened. This jar, this oil, kept on flowing until there was no more container." Remember, the container is the problem, not the content, not the oil. So the moment the containers were filled up, the oil stopped flowing. So the problem is not the economy, the problem is not income, the problem is your outcome, you are the problem. So now she came back and reported to Elisha. Elisha said to her, go sell the oil, pay your debt, and live on the rest. And this is where I wrap up this discussion. Until you learn to sell, you cannot excel. If you want to succeed in this economy, you must learn to sell. One of the best skills that you need to learn in this 21st century is selling, how to sell. If you know how to sell, you can actually sell even sands and make money. If you know how to sell, you can sell anything. In fact, anything is sellable in our generation, and you make money. Look at the things that people are selling all around and making money. Things that you might even look at and laugh at, yet somebody is making money out of it. I often tell people that our world and our society is so rich, our country is so rich, that money falls people on the road. If you have ever fallen, maybe you're on the bike and then you fail on the road because of plenty of sand on the road, it's just money that failed you. It was money that failed you. Too much money even on the streets that is making people to tip and fall. But few people recognize this thing. So learn to sell. Learn to sell. Go and learn to sell. We train people on how to sell. Okay, we run Telegram, program every Monday and every Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m., teaching people on Telegram how to sell. You can sell anything. How to market. You can market anything. And so, my friend, I'm going to stop here today. We'll still have another session in this ongoing program. I'm grateful for your participation. Thank you so much. And I believe that you have been blessed. I know that you have found value in your time. Thank you so much. And sir, Pastor Robert, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be a blessing to God's people. Please take over from here. God bless you.